All right, so as I indicated earlier, Miss G is back and she has joined us interactive. Hello, Miss G.
Exactly. Join the conversation on our Facebook page. Is Joy News on TV. Now, from the 1st of July, a 3% VAT rate was instituted in Ghana, and there's been some hue and cry about it. The Finance Ministry has insisted that implementation of the 3% VAT flat rate scheme would not result in prices of goods and services going up. Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwarteng says the ministry has no intention of recommending for the removal of the tax. However, some manufacturers have kicked against it. The Food and Beverage Association maintained that its members cannot absorb the expected increases in the cost of production, and others are threatening to carry out some job layoffs and downsize operations to reduce cost of production. We want to find out from you what you make of this. Okay, so I hear we have to go straight to Facebook.
All right, so on Facebook, Judicial Sudro says, I think we all know our status as a nation, the legacy that NDC left us. We need to exercise patience for them to fix this broken economy, and we shouldn't expect something magical from the beginning. NPP promised Ghanaians, and we need to allow them to deliver than we talking too much. Neil Amti says, oh, Ghana, my motherland. In fact, this is not what the government promised us. I'm confused. Finding a job in this country is not easy. God save us from these wicked people. Asalambert says, though it is a good implementation, but I think, or though it's a good initiative, but I think it will take some time for the citizenry to see its effect. Nevertheless, the Ghanaians should be educated to see it well. Kwesi Boateng Yepa says, I suggest we put the implementation on hold to make room for ample time for the ordinary citizen to be educated on the implementation and the chain effect. Today, the Deputy Minister of Information on Peace FM said it is only the formula which has been changed, but the real value still stands. Now, the citizenry is also saying something different. I guess education is needed. And Bash says, when all the big manufacturing industries in a country are owned by politicians, these are some of the things that keep happening. Anytime the incumbent government wants to implement a policy that would help the country, the opposing industry owners will try to paint it bad for their political gains. Anyway, more jobs will be open for the people that will be laid off.
And Bayer Jeremiah said 3% came from which initial percentage? We need to be educated on some of these policies before they are implemented. Public understanding of policies help pull people along for its effective implementation. And there someone says Ghanaians have been taken for granted for too long. Ghanaians are discerning and need to be not to be treated like this. So which manufacturing firm or entrepreneur will incur an additional 3% cost VAT that he will not shift it on the consumer, when we all know that the aim of every manufacturer is to maximize profits? And already some of these manufacturers have hinted of layoffs of workers, yet you still reassure us and give us false hope not to worry. Ghanaians, our time will stop voting.
Okay, so on this particular post by them dear Summons, I need to point out something. The GRA has always indicated that this 3% that they're talking about is not going to affect manufacturers. So manufacturers and service providers will not be affected by this 3% VAT. They'll continue to charge the 17.5% VAT. Then I can understand that there's some ambiguity and misunderstanding about this whole thing, but I'm hoping that in the next few days, GRA will come out clearly and clarify for everybody else to appreciate it.
Definitely, we can't wait. And Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe is famous for his controversial statements against the West, sleeping during conferences and being one of Africa's oldest presidents. But today, he's trending for a different reason: his generous $1 million gift to the African Union. It seems a bit ironic, especially since Zimbabwe is still having economic difficulties. Share with us your thoughts.
Well, I mean, people obviously think that if you're going to help someone, you should help your country first before the African Union. But we cannot really tell what Mugabe's motive is unless we ask him. So maybe it can be, maybe he's bidding for something in the African Union. That's why he's contributing But then Zimbabwe is also part of the African Union, so it could be a step in the right direction. It may not be a step in the right direction. So unless we ask Mugabe what or why he did what he did.
In the African Union, so it's a good thing. He's not thinking of his country alone.
But I mean, you have to remember that Zimbabwe, they are still suffering from economic crisis.
At least when they are in crisis, the AU will come and support. They know he's doing his part, contributing to the growth of the African Union.
Wow. This is a nice question. But what I would say is maybe he has got a vision. Mugabe has got a vision that maybe he wants to achieve. So he's not only thinking about his country, he's thinking about the whole Africa. So I think it's a good idea because for myself, I'm for African unity. So if somebody is doing something like that, I must support him. So I think it's a good idea.
So even at the expense of his own country, you'll support?
I think maybe he knows what he has got in his coffers. So the one he's giving might not worry them that much. And to set an example for other African countries to also maybe follow and help African unity come to reality. So I think...
Yes, I know Zimbabwe for now, they are a very deprived economy. So I think they should rather use it to, re-establish their economy so that they can forge ahead instead of giving it to the AU continent, AU organization. I think it's not right. They should rather use it for restructuring of their economy than to give it to the AU.
Must be concerned about his people. If your people are suffering and you have raised an amount of 1 million, why don't you give to your people who are suffering and rather giving it to the OAU? What benefit will the people get? So I don't think it is right.
Well, I think giving it to African Union, African Union is made up of so many countries under the union. So I think it also benefits other countries which are less endowed when it comes to resources so that they will use the money to also support their economy. So that's what I think that is in the right direction. Even though Mugabe's country is also less endowed, but the money given to the African Union will also be used to cushion other countries which are even more poorer than Mugabe's country.
$1 million cattle be given to the African Union.
So he auctioned the cattle, his cattle, and got $1 million and gave the money to the African Union. Well, Mr. Mugabe, Grandpa Mugabe, thank you.
Okay.
Baya Jeremiah says it's a good move from Mr. Mugabe. Africa's problem is now economic independence. I pray and hope that money is used for its intended purposes. Mugabe is a perfect definition of Pan-Africanism. May he live long to see Africa develop. Imrana says, I agree with you. Benedict Bedu, have you thought of the poor Zimbabweans in his country? Stephen Kumi says, populist and useless. Let him use that to feed and care for the millions of Zimbabweans who are hungry and can't access basic sanitation and healthcare services. Charity must begin from home, no? And Eric Waja says, no one can understand the way Mugabe does his things, but it's a good initiative to support Africa. After all, it might happen that those cattle owners fail to adhere to a regulation set on them. No, they are not talking about any cattle owners, it's his own cattle. Asa Lambert says, it's a good step in the right direction, but that can't be enough for Africa to be completely independent. He's a legend and will go down in African history. Much love, His Excellency Robert Mugabe. And Seth Kwame says, applause and acclamations to His Excellency Mugabe. He has shown clearly in indirect language that the African is capable of managing his own affairs. We should stop moving around in the West and Eastern world like destitutes. Much was given to us by nature, and as the adage goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. That should be the strength to make us rise and do much more than what is seen. Okay, it's a bit long.
A bit long it is, but let's move on to the next issue. So let's check your civic education today. Went out on the streets of Accra to test your knowledge on some basic current affairs in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Can you name any item in the coat of arms?
Any item in the coat of arms? Yeah. Lion, a lion, eagle, lion, eagle, a castle, and the last one, the castle and a tree also, a tree, something like that.
And the last one, can you say the first line of the national anthem?
The first line, God bless our homeland Ghana.
The Vice President of Ghana, yeah, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
And can you name one item from the coat of arms?
One item from the coat of arms, the eagle.
And can you say one line from the national anthem, the first line?
The first line, God bless our homeland Ghana.
Mahmoud Bawumia.
And can you mention any item on the coat of arms?
Yeah, I think we have the eagle in there. Yeah.
And can you say the first line of the national anthem?
God bless our homeland Ghana.
Did you know the Vice President of Ghana?
Dr. Bawumia.
Can you mention one item in the coat of arms?
There's an eagle. One item, right? Yeah, so there's an eagle.
Okay, great. And can you say the first line of the national anthem?
God bless our homeland Ghana.
Okay, so people have been sharing their civic education.
Done well. They've done fairly well.
So, like I was asking you whilst we were off air, I heard some people say Mahmoud and some people say Mahamudu. So I was asking you.
It's Mahamudu.
Mahamudu.
Yeah,
Bawumia.
that's the spelling. Mahamudu. Bawumia.
So I don't understand why people say Mahmoud Bawumia, Mahmoud Bawumia.
Well, because you can also see the name has been
like short form of his name is a shortened or
corrupted. a lot of the time the name is corrupted.
Okay.
But there's also Mahmoud, so I'm sure people get it confused.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right. So I'm not going to ask you about your civic knowledge. I think you know everything.
I don't know everything. I know a little.
Okay. So I'm told that you can name one item on the coat of arms apart from the eagle.
Oh, but they've
mentioned all, and they said the lion, they said the castle. Okay, the last line of the anthem.
I have to sing all the way to the end.
Really? Anyway, let's say the